like to stretch yourself out into Shavasana shape with support for your legs. I'm going to do a little guided meditation. When we do this meditation, usually we go from the big toes to the crown of the head, and then the crown of the head back down to the big toes. So the way we'll do it for today's practice, in the beginning of class, we're going to do from big toes up to the crown. And then at the end of the class for Shavasana, we'll do crown of the head down to the big toes. So now you know the secret. The cat is out of the bag, and you know what to look forward to. Okay, just take a couple deep breaths and maybe sigh and exhale, taking an audible exhale perhaps, just letting go. Let your shoulders release. Kind of surrender a little bit and relax into the floor, into your mat. Some days it feels like a lot of effort just to sit up and stand up and just do tasks like the dishes, but we don't have to do any of that right now. We just are here, held by the earth, breathing. Go ahead and bring your awareness to your big toes. Just take a couple of breaths, aware of your big toes. Ankles, awareness on your calves, awareness on your knees. Breathing in, breathing out. Mid thighs, base of your spine. Awareness on your navel. Breathing in, breathing out. Heart center, Awareness on your throat. The space between your eyebrows. Top of your forehead. Crown of your head. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice your whole body. Breathing in, breathing out. And when you're ready, please bring your hands to touch in front of your heart. Grateful for breath. It is such a powerful anchor to come back to when we're feeling all the feels. Grateful for our practice and for each person that showed up today to make our community. And let's send some peace, some blessings, some healing, something good out into the world from our hearts outward. And release. Just wiggle your toes and your fingers. Feel like saying good morning. All right, and you'll take your arms out in a T, and we'll begin rolling the head. We're going to go left and right, and you'll go as far as feels good. Let your head be heavy. Rolling to the left and to the right. And begin now just to go halfway. Rolling left and right. Going about halfway. And now a quarter of the way. Go slowly enough so you can feel the nice massage on the back of the head. And then a very tiny little turn, left and right, but really small. and back to center. Take a couple of breaths in stillness. And bring your arms down by your sides. You may not want to do the next part. This is a little strengthening for the neck. So if you'd like, you can just go to one side and hold, and then roll to the other side and hold. If you're happy about trying this, I'll show you. It's a very tiny little lift. I'm lifting my head off the mat, off my pillow. It's maybe like an eighth of an inch, and then rest. And you'll feel the muscles in your neck working. If that doesn't work for you, if it's icky, then don't do that. Rest and breathe. We'll try a couple times, barely lifting the head. Smiling helps. A little chin to the chest, and then release, release, let it go. And then the last one, lifting barely, teeny tiny little lift. And hold this heavy head, and then release. And then you may want to just roll just a little bit side to side. Okay. Big breath in, big breath out. And again, we'll take the arms out in a T, shoulder height-ish, and you'll roll so that the palms go down, and then roll from the shoulder joint, palms up. It's a very small movement, rolling so the palms turn down and then up. And as you do this, you may end up finding just a little more. The elbows will lift a little bit. You're just finding from the shoulder joint a rotation. Your hands will follow. And just a couple more. And then you'll pause and decide if it feels nice with palms facing down or palms facing up. We'll pause here. You might take your legs a little wider, just taking up some space. You can close your eyes and let your body breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Three more breaths. And if you have your cushions underneath your legs, you'll go ahead and take them out, bend your knees, and take your feet a little wider than your hips. Your arms can be again out in a T, maybe up in sort of an X or a Y, or maybe they just feel great right down by your sides. We'll start with tiny windshield wipers. So just barely taking the knees one way and then the other. You'll notice the back of your pelvis, and there becomes a little spinal rotation. And you can stay with this, or you can begin to take the wipers a little bit more. Notice your body breathing, staying present with the movement, and maybe your wipers will go a little bit more. Of course, you don't pass the part that feels good. You just notice and allow. Be right where you are. Well, now, if you would like to add your head turning, you'll turn the opposite way of your knees. Feel free to change the position of your arms at any point. Continue moving, or you can stop on one side. Hold the stretch for a couple of breaths. And come back through center and to the other side, holding a couple of breaths. And coming back to center. Bring your feet back to hip width. Bring your hands onto your belly. Let your eyes close and take some breaths, allowing your belly to rise and fall. Awareness on each breath. Bring your pillow or pillows to your left side. We'll take a gentle twist now so you can support your legs with your pillows. We'll shift the pelvis by lifting just a little and shifting the pelvis over to the right. And then draw your knees in and take them to the left. Let them land on the pillows, your legs. If that feels like too much, remember you can always start feet down, legs go to the side. Guess what? Your arms can go back out in a T. I should call this the Terry class because evidently I want a lot of T's. So we're twisting, we're breathing, and maybe we're looking the opposite way of the knees. Each thing is kind of getting a little bit deeper. So you notice how that feels in your body and you adjust accordingly. And let your eyes close. Take some deep breaths. If you have your legs stacked and you would like to take the top leg and reach it out straight, you can do that. You'll feel some stretch in your outer hip, IT band. And bring your head back to center. Bend your knee if it's not. Come back to center with your legs. Lift and shift pelvis back to neutral. Pause. Pause here and breathe. And bring your cushions to the other side. One or two or five, whatever you have. So remember, feet can be on the ground and knees drop to one side. And that can be your twist. It's lovely. You can lift the pelvis a little, move it to the left, draw the knees in, and then take the knees to the right, letting them land on the cushion. Sometimes, I didn't mention this on side one, so that was an epic fail. Sometimes you don't even want the cushions. You might want a deeper twist with your legs on the ground. So I apologize for not giving you that opportunity, but hopefully this feels good. If you'd like, turn your head the opposite way of your knees and then go right to your breath. Feel the difference of this side than the first side. Maybe if the legs are stacked, you'll reach the top leg out, finding a stretch on your outer thigh, outer buttocks. And bring your head back to neutral. Bend your leg and draw yourself back to center. Shift your pelvis back to neutral. And you might like to just straighten out here for a couple of breaths. Maybe long legs and arms reaching up and over, long arms. A few very deep breaths here into your front body, your back body, your side body, as if your whole amazing self was inhaling and exhaling. Bring your arms back down by your sides. Bend your knees, please. If you have a yoga block, you could use it now between the legs, or you could use a pillow. We're going to do some bridges, but it's kind of nice to feel something in between the legs that you can squeeze into. So actually, let me just grab a block and show you in case you have one and you're not sure what that means. So there's a few different widths of the yoga brick, probably medium-ish or narrow. I kind of like the medium. So it's just above the knees. It's not supposed to hurt, but it will help you find your inner thighs. All right, knees are bent. Maybe you have a prop. Don't worry if you don't have it. It's not a big deal. And we'll start with the buttocks, squeezing and lifting the hips, squeezing into the prop if you're using it. And we lower back down. You don't have to go very high. Pressing down, lifting up. The buttocks is active. We're using the muscles to help do this hip extension. Opening up front of hip. Lowering down. Planting your feet, pressing down, lifting up. We'll do a few more just like this. If you want to stop and rest and be still, honor that. And we'll do one more. And we'll pause. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And this time we'll add our arms. You can keep the prop or not. Inhale, lift your hips. Arms float up and over. Exhale, lower everything back down. Maybe your hips and your hands will land at the same time. All right, here we go. Inhaling, lifting up, arms floating. Exhale, lowering down. Following your breath. Lifting, lowering, squeezing the prop if you're using it, and really pressing down through the heels, finding the buttocks, using those strong muscles. 3 more, or rest. Good. Pause and rest. Notice if you've created any tension in your shoulders or your back. Let the buttocks relax here for now. We're going to come in for a few more bridges, but right now we rest. It's a beautiful yoga pose. This time we will add a breath at the top. So we're going to hold the top of the bridge for a breath, which is really nice, or not, right? I can't just assume that you love it the way that I do. So you can always adjust. Here we go. Squeeze the prop if you're using it. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your hips, arms float up and over. Stay up for your exhale. Stay up for your inhale. And then lower down, exhale. Inhale, lift. Stay up, exhale. Stay up, inhale, buttocks strong. Lower everything down, exhale. Again, lifting up, arms floating. Staying up for your exhale. Staying up for your inhale. Lowering down, exhale. And let's do 3 more. Follow your breath. Resting, or we have 1 more. And when you come down, you'll take the prop out, and you can bring your pillow, your cushion, your bolster, whatever you're using. Lift your hips, and let's take supported bridge. Yes, one of my all-time faves. I have so many favorites. Thank you, yoga. Find a supported bridge. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to end up having us here until 7 o'clock. I need to pay attention. Okay. So much good stuff to do. All right. Guess what? You can take your arms out in a T again if you'd like. Palms up or down. And for now, let's keep our feet on the ground. You can add your pillow back in if you need it. Just feel the gentle inversion. This tiny little upside down. A good way to shift perspective. And we'll take a few more breaths with our feet connected to the ground, and then we'll add on if you want. And feel free to change the position of your arms. And if you'd like, draw your knees in toward your chest, and maybe the legs will float up toward the sky. You can still have a bend in your knees. Try to have your legs closer to your body so that you don't feel like you're doing an ab workout. The legs are happily floating up in the air. And you can point one foot and flex the other ankle, and then switch, pointing, flexing. One foot pointing, one foot flexing. And then let your feet rest. You might like to close your eyes. We'll spend about another minute here. If it becomes too much, bring your feet back down to the ground. Bend your knees. Bring your feet back down. Take a few more breaths here. When you're ready, we'll remove the cushion. Bring your pelvis down to your mat. You can add your pillow back in. Oh, and get it caught on your mat. And then hug your knees in toward your chest. And we'll gently rock side to side, or you can be still. One hand on each knee now, each leg making a circle. They do not have to be big circles. Let them be feel good circles, feel just right circles. And take one more in the direction that you're going, and then we'll switch. And let's take one more in this direction. And bring your legs together. All the way, you'll hold the legs together now, and we'll circle this way. So you may feel a nice sort of tracing or massaging of your sacral area. It's triangular-ish shaped bone at the base of your spine. So at the right under your low back. One more in this direction, and then we'll switch. And one more in this direction. And release. Stretch your legs out. Stretch your arms up and over if you'd like. Giant breath. Big, beautiful inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Two more times. Big inhale. open mouth, exhale. One more. Okay, one last thing, and then something lovely. You'll bring your legs up into the sky again, and this time add your arms, and we'll circle wrists and ankles. So, resting bug, which is also lovely. And switch direction with your ankles and your wrists. And bring your arms down, hold the edges of your mat. Bring your heels together and turn your feet out. So, some of you know where we're going. You squeeze the heels together and you bend your knees. Keep your heels together. Some work on the inner thighs and the legs and beyond. Squeeze the heels together and take the legs all the way back up. Slow and steady. It's creating a little bit of shaking. Press your heels together, bend your knees so they're going out to the side. And then squeezing the heels together and straightening the legs. Just 47 more. Kidding. One. This is it. Squeeze your heels together. And squeeze your heels together and straighten the legs. And then give a little shake asana. Grab your cushions. When you bring your legs down, bring the soles of your feet together and support your thighs with your cushion. Supta Baddha Konasana. Yes, this feels much better than that bending and straightening, but that's really good work. And we'll start with cactus arms, but we're going to move the arms. So cactus shape, forearms and palms go down toward the floor and then open. If you keep everything in line, you'll just feel what you feel for this internal rotation. I can get to the floor by lifting the shoulders, but that's not the point here. You just want to feel the range that you have today, external and then internal. And you might even notice a difference between your left shoulder and your right shoulder, especially if you have one that's known to be cranky. And we'll stop in the open position, external rotation. Make sure that that feels fine for your body, or you could switch it to your arms out in a T, or you could even bring your hands onto your belly. Breathing right here. Notice where your attention is. Keep your awareness on your breath. 3 more whole body breaths here. And as gently as you can, bringing the legs together, straighten them out over your cushions. If you want to be covered up, you'll cover up. And in a moment, we're going to make our way from the crown of the head back down to the big toes. Just your awareness on each place. Let your body rest. Bring your awareness to the crown of your head, top of your forehead, space between your eyebrows, throat, heart center, navel, base of your spine, mid thighs, knees, calves, ankles, big toes, your whole body. Shavasana. If you would like to rest longer, please do. Otherwise, invite a deeper breath, some gentle movement, fingers, toes. And maybe reach up overhead. Bend your knees, roll to your side into fetal pose. The pose of new beginnings. And we start the rest of our evening from this place. Maybe a little more peaceful, a little more centered. And we bring ourselves up to sit. And bring your hands to touch in front of your heart. You can bow your head in. Take a deep breath. Thank you for showing up, for practicing, for being here. Take great care. Namaste.